Today's episode discusses the work of illustrator Drew Struzan.
Between the date when we recorded and the day this episode was released, Struzan passed away, so in the episode he is referred to as still living.
And we wish nothing but the best for Struzan's family, friends, and colleagues, and hope this episode is a fitting tribute to one of the masters of film poster artwork. Well, today we're going to discuss a couple of amazing horror movie posters for The Thing and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Their stories...
What? I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. Say that one over again.
You're also doing a Mr. Miyagi thing with your hands. I heard your hands like rubbing on each other. I hope those were your hands.
No, I don't think I was. Must have been rubbing something.
Oh, great. Okay. I know you're really into this episode, but keep your hands on the table.
Well, today.
Yeah. Well, today I'd like to get into recording this actual episode. Hey, everyone. It's Elliot.
And Todd. Welcome to Two Designers Walk Into a Bar, an ongoing conversation about pop culture and iconic design.
Since it's October, we're going to continue with a second of our 2 Horror Month episodes here in the bar.
I guess they didn't get enough shock and terror from our last episode, huh?
Oh, you mean the one about monsters?
No, I mean whichever the last one was I happened to listen to.
Well, today we're going to discuss a couple of amazing horror movie posters for The Thing and Creature from the Black Lagoon. The stories, the artists, and what makes them great.
So order a round of Black Magic Margaritas for everyone.
We're dimming the lights and lighting some candles back here in the bar.
Woo!
No, you mean
woo.
Woo.
How about that?
That was going to be our lead-in for our episode.
Oh, okay. All right. Ooh.
It's.
I said, if I come back as a ghost, I'm going to be like, oh.
You're going to be the ghost haunted by his own sciatica.
Yeah. I was like, the ghost is choking on a Dorito.
The one chip challenge.
Oh my gosh, man, we are off the rails early. October does that to a body.
It does. It's a full moon.
Oh.
No, right, I meant look below the table. I got something I want to show you.
No. I did love our last conversation talking about monster sponsors. I thought that was really fun. And I love monsters. I love horror movies, particularly the old school ones.
Ah, okay. So you have an old school movie and movie poster for us today. Hit me.
Yes. All right. Well, this is a classic. Doesn't get much more classic than Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, man.
Directed by
How do I follow
Arnold.
that? What am I going to do now, Todd?
You'll be
Thanks
great.
a lot.
You'll be great. Don't worry. Let me tell you, like when I was thinking about our conversation, I was like, okay, there's so many, and what am I looking for here in a poster that our listeners would be interested in? First of all, it has to be iconic and it has to represent the movie, of course.
Uh-huh.
Which is what a poster for a movie should do.
Yeah. You got that's table stakes, Todd. Speaking of table stakes, we need to get a couple of stakes on this table.
On this table, yeah. Speaking of Dracula, where are the steaks for this table?
Right. Extra rare.
Yeah.
Oh, a different kind of steak. I have a wood-free diet. I'm not going to eat oak.
Oh, my. Okay. The poster also has to have some longevity to it. And, it has to have that sort of come hither power, which has a thing that draws you in. And this one in particular has that come hither power, but with gills.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, Elliot.
Yeah.
I am a huge fanboy of not only this poster, but also this movie. I'm not going to do my usual deep dive into tea
No
spilling.
pun intended.
Yeah, hey-oh. I'm not going to do my deep dive into tea spilling and litigation drama, man.
Huh. Well, what are we supposed to talk about then? No lawsuits, no gossip.
Yeah.
What's going to be the takeaway? No scandal, Todd?
I know. Okay. Well, we'll take a few minutes and let me just explain what the movie is about. It's Beauty and the Beast, okay? Just like King Kong, just like Phantom of the Opera, just like Dracula, just like Frankenstein, all those, like Beauty and the Beast, just add water to this one.
Or tea.
Yeah.
Didn't Beauty and the Beast have a teapot, the Disney one?
Yeah, that sang.
Yeah, wasn't that
like teapots too?
Wasn't that Murder She
Angela
Wrote?
Lansbury.
Yeah, we should do a Murder She Wrote episode.
Okay.
We should just do a whole series that just is a watch along for Murder She Wrote.
Well, yeah, sure. Why not?
There's probably one out there, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, there. No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, let me talk about the poster real quick. The movie Creature was actually released in 3D, which was a major novelty in 1954 when the movie came out. So the poster visually communicates exaggerated action and depth and movement like you would see in a 3D movie. And it does that through kind of this pushed perspective and this diagonal composition. And, you know, the design was as much about marketing 3D theater technology as it was marketing the movie itself.
Yeah, you know, there's so much terror, Todd. You can't keep it contained in only 2 dimensions.
I'm gonna needlepoint that and hang it up in my living room.
Needlepoint it in red thread and blue thread, slightly offset, and then I'll give you a pair of glasses to look at it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's an illustration done by one of our favorite guys we've talked a lot about, Reynold Brown.
Oh, man, look at this. You're going back to Reynold Brown.
Yeah.
Again, there might be a fight in the bar, because, I mean, how do you argue with Reynold Brown?
Well, I mean, how do you know that it's a different night than any other if there's a fight in the bar?
Well, true. With the 2 of us.
Yeah. This is one of his earliest movies, though, that he actually illustrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
he went on, as we've talked about, and hopefully our listeners have heard us talk about. He did a lot of 50s and 60s classics, including one of your favorites, Elliot, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Yes.
Yeah, and This Island Earth, and I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Oh, man, that's great.
I mean, well, Reynold Brown just did everything.
He did.
You know, he just did everything.
Okay, so let's make sure that our episode notes have a link to that episode in them.
Okay, yeah, good idea. All right, so in describing this illustration, the creature, who's also known as Gillman, he's very prominent in the front of the poster. He has this scaly body, and he has these bright red lips because, you know, what's more terrifying than a monster who's stolen your lipstick, right?
Well, you know what he seems to not have?
What's that?
A relationship with a good dermatologist.
Oh, nicely said. The scene is either underwater or emerging from underwater. You know, Reynold plays a lot with space and perspective here. So.
Scenery, yeah.
So he's kind of folding in a couple different vignettes there. And he is holding a screaming Julia Adams, who was the female lead, and she's wearing this white bathing suit. And I might just say she has extra pointy breasts, which... You know, because guess who was buying movie tickets in the mid-50s, right?
I wasn't alive in the mid-50s.
Well, okay. I will say, let me just footnote here for a second. I called her Julia Adams. That's how she was billed in this movie. Don't send me letters, hate letters, you fanboys. I know her name is also Julie Adams later, so just go with it. Her name is Julia Adams in this movie. So there we go. Put a squash to any hate mail we're going to get on that one.
Way to go. I like it.
All right. So Julia Adams' character wearing this white bathing suit, and this creates this, think about this starkness, emphasizing her vulnerability and her cleanliness against this monster from the deep. And this has all the tropes of horror and pulp fiction of the time. It's monster plus damsel in distress to grab attention. And actually, Julia Adams, she kind of disliked her depiction in the poster. She says, it presented her overly helpless and overtly sexualized, which was not a reflection of her actual performance in the movie at all. In the movie, she was a competent scientist.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. The poster does scream, Todd. Science? Never heard of her.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The underwater scene illustrates the exoticness of the location and this mysterious setting, which, think about it like it's drowning or causing this isolation in this Black Lagoon. There's just this mystery. So
Yeah.
that's in the foreground. In the background, there's these divers with knives and spear guns. They're chasing the couple.
Yeah, and it's kind of commingled with the title of the movie.
Yeah. The title, it's bold, it's uneven, slightly slanted lettering. It's dramatic, and it's this unsettling looking font, which mirrors the tone of instability and terror.
Yeah, I always thought that style mimicked the text of a scream. Like, it's very sort of animated. You can imagine it pouring out of someone's mouth.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. The poster is full of greens and blues and yellows those are kind of evoking the murky waters and the eerie atmosphere of a jungle. At the bottom, there are these little inset scenes, and they're 3 small panels, and they just show sort of additional bits from the movie. They're still illustrated, and one is an isolated boat sitting on the lagoon.
It was the minnow, I think.
It does look like the minnow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just sitting there,
it's
right?
Forrest Gump's shrimp boat, maybe.
It could be that. Well, do we know that Forrest Gump?
Yeah, he was
Didn't
probably
indeed use
involved
the
with
minnow?
this. Yeah, that would be. I mean, he was involved with everything else, so why not this?
Yeah. I think we've got a sequel brewing, Elliot.
It's the Alabama Lagoon country.
Yeah. The second one is the creature lunging after a diver, and the last inset square, it's sort of the 2 lead characters embracing against this unseen danger. The male character is holding a gun at something, which we don't see. Spoiler alert, the creature.
He also has a pith helmet, which nothing screams exploring in the jungle like a pith helmet.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of acts like a little mini storyboard hinting at the plot. And
Yeah,
the
it's very
pacing that
comic
would be to
book-like.
come.
I love it.
So what it's trying to show is there's action, there's romance, there's suspense. It's sort of promising a little something for everyone in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You look at this poster and you can sort of hear the soundtrack. Like, I think of it as kind of a cross between like a horror movie soundtrack, but also kind of like a Johnny Quest kind of soundtrack, you know?
Yeah. So I want to mention, you know how I love tying a pop culture thread together, right?
You? Nah. Really?
I do. And I could not wait to tell you this.
All right, hit me. I want to hear this.
I think you'd agree. This is a perfect example of the classic 1950s horror poster, wouldn't you?
Oh, gosh. 100%. 100. You couldn't ask for a better example.
And so much so, here's where I'm going to blow your mind, Elliot.
Okay.
Speaking of other famous movie scenes, do you know the famous movie scene from the Marilyn Monroe movie 7 Year Itch?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, coming out, skirt blows up over the subway.
Yeah.
Guess what they're coming out of? A movie theater. Guess what's in the background?
No
Creature from the
way.
Black Lagoon.
That's great. I love that.
Weaving it together, baby.
That's killer.
Yeah.
Now, were they both released by the same studio? Were they plugging another product?
They were not, actually.
Really? It was that iconic that they were just...
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
And 7 Year Itch was actually a year later. So it wasn't like
it couldn't be
was,
earlier. Well, I mean,
right. But I mean, it wasn't like it was 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it was, it was kind of right on the heels. That just shows you what a big deal that was.
Yeah,
but,
that's awesome.
We've talked about this in a previous podcast about B-movie posters. What they were taking advantage of there with the illustration was that fear of the unknown. It was science gone wrong. It was Cold War paranoia that's gone crazy. And, the monsters in these particular cases, they were representing other, the unknown.
Yeah.
That could be communism or the atom or racial tension or, environmental destruction.
Yeah. I mean, all those things, right? This is less than 10 years after all these things came into the fore. or were, the country was embroiled in them, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about this was like in this tropical setting somewhere, and it's like, where did we test the atomic bomb? In a tropical setting somewhere. So I totally get it.
We saw that a lot in some of the other B movies that we've talked about. There was always a thing that caused bad stuff to happen. And around that time, the atomic bomb was getting a lot of that credit. So, of course, in the movie, it's never said, like, what caused this creature. He's been there forever, and no one ever went to the Black Lagoon to find him. But he did fall in love with beautiful Julia Adams, and the rest is history.
Beautiful, screaming Julia Adams.
Yeah. So let me just mention something real quick to our favorite listeners. If you happen to come across an original one sheet of this poster, they say they're extremely rare, but don't let that stop you from buying it and sending it to Elliot and me.
Absolutely.
It could set you back about 20 to 30 G's at an auction, though. Just be prepared for that.
Todd, look to my left. Look at that space on the wall of the bar. It would be absolutely perfect for a framed $30,000 poster to go.
You're right, Elliot. And you know what? 20 to 30,000 also reminds me of another number.
Oh, is that the number of listeners we have?
No.
Oh, you mean the number of subscribers we have?
Nope.
You mean our bar tab?
Be more specific.
Let's see. The part of our bar tab, IOU?
Bingo.
Oh. Well, in that case, I've got to step out real quick and see a man about a loan. We'll be right back.
Okay. Hi. We want to take a moment to mention that if you're enjoying this episode, we have an archive of topics ranging from the Olympics to movie posters.
Think Ghostbusters.
Iconic images.
Think Bigfoot.
Punk music.
The Ramones.
Saturday morning cartoons.
The Pink Panther.
And failed products like OK Soda. Visit our website at twodesignerswalkintoabar.com for full episode notes and visuals, the latest blog content, and to sign up for our newsletter.
Follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Find the links on our website or search using the phrase "Two Designers Walk Into a Bar."
Most importantly, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps more people like you find podcasts like this.
And tell a friend about us. Send them a link to our podcast from your listening platform of choice.
And if you're inclined, buy our merchandise. Stickers, coasters, magnets, t-shirts. We're designers. We make good stuff, and it helps support the show.
Get in touch. Use the contact form on our website or send an email to hello@twodesignerswalkintoabar.com.
We read every message we get. Honest.
And we're available for speaking gigs. Email us to learn more.
Okay, now, back to the bar.
Okay, Todd.
All right.
I managed to duck out in the alley behind the bar. I got a few bucks. So I think we're all set for the next round of drinks.
Thanks, Elliot. I appreciate your generosity. And you know what? Also, thank you for letting me just fanboy gush about one of my favorite posters and horror movies of that era. I just love it. I love it a lot.
All right, Todd.
But there's others, right? There are other movies that we can talk about.
And we both love Reynold Brown.
We do.
But I have brought a heavy hitter to the bar as well that I think could go toe-to-toe with Reynold Brown in terms of movie poster excellence. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So the movie I want to talk about is the 1982 cult sci-fi horror movie John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah. I
Okay.
remember the poster. It's iconic.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it in just a second. So let me give you a quick synopsis of this film
Okay.
so that'll contextualize the art for the poster a little bit. So the film starred Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley. I'm sure he was eating oatmeal the whole time in it. T.K. Carter, David Clennon, Keith David, you know him. He does a bunch of voice work as well as movie work.
Oh, okay.
Richard Mazur and Donald Moffat. He's a British actor. He's played the president. He had been in all kinds of stuff while he was alive. He was the president in Clear and Present Danger, if I remember correctly. One of the Tom Clancy movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this movie is actually based on a story from the 30s,
Okay.
1938 to be specific. A guy named John W. Campbell Jr. wrote a novella called Who Goes There? And it tells the story of a group of American researchers in Antarctica who encounter the Thing, an extraterrestrial life form that assimilates, then imitates other organisms. So this was sort of like the evil Terminator before Terminator, you know?
Yeah, an organic Terminator.
Yeah. And the group is overcome by a paranoia and conflict, obviously, as they learn that they can no longer trust each other because any one of them could be the Thing.
Huh. Okay.
So cool plot, right? You know, a little bit of horror, a little bit of suspense. Okay. But the poster, Todd, was illustrated by none other than Drew Struzan. So you may have heard of this guy, right?
I have. I love Drew Struzan.
Okay. So what do you think, aside from this poster, what do you think was his most iconic work?
Off the top of my head, I really have to say Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I actually don't think he do Raiders, because I think he did the second and the third one.
Maybe he did. Maybe I just
I don't
give him
think
credit for that.
Name
because
another one.
Gosh. The Goonies. He did the Goonies.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. That's an amazing poster. Everybody probably has that in their head. You know, the forced perspective, the kids dangling off the stalactite or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It's like so amazing. He did everything in terms of movies.
He did.
In addition to the Goonies, he created artwork for more than 150 other posters, including... Todd, let me know if you've heard of any of these, okay?
Okay.
These are kind of obscure cult films. Shawshank Redemption.
Familiar.
Cannonball Run.
I love it.
Police Academy series.
Stop it.
Back to the Future.
I heard that's going to be something.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, okay.
A movie that made my life a living hell when it came out, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
That's a story you're going to have to tell me one day.
Think of My Name.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Asshole.
The Muppet Movie. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that because I'm nice. One of my favorite movies of all time, I think one of yours too, Coming to America.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
First Blood, that introduced us to John J. Rambo.
Damn, yeah, he did everything.
Risky Business, that introduced us to dunking a Porsche in a lake.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you just said, the Goonies, just a kind of top line, a list of iconic movies. Okay, but you'll love this.
Wow.
So let's talk for a second about Drew Struzan and who he is. So he had a great quote about how he got into illustration. So a college counselor asked him about his interests, and he was always good at art. He was in school for art, wanted to go to school for art, and he had a choice between fine art or illustration. So the counselor described the two career paths, telling him that a fine artist, he could paint, whatever he wanted if he decided to be a fine artist. But as an illustrator, he could paint for money. And Struzan did not have the most affluent childhood, shall we say. So he decided to be an illustrator, just very matter-of-factly stating, I need to eat.
It is one of those problems that we have as being humans, isn't it?
Yeah.
So good on him. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, I think pop culture in general is. So this guy just didn't jump out of art school and get into posters. So prior to his movie poster career, he was in Southern California. He ended up going to Art Center College of Design in the early 70s. He stuck around LA and he got a job as a staff artist for Pacific Eye and Ear. And that was a design studio, not a doctor's office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So get this. Speaking of pop culture, he designed album covers for Tony Orlando and Dawn,
Awesome.
the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, Roy Orbison, Black Sabbath, Glenn Miller, Iron Butterfly, Bach, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Liberace.
Wow.
Todd, this just reminds us of the bar jukebox.
Oh my gosh, he did everything.
A little bit of everything. Okay, it's like our Spotify playlist. Now you'll love this. His artwork for Alice Cooper's "Welcome to My Nightmare"
I know it, yeah.
was voted one of the top 100 album covers of all time by Rolling Stone. So this guy's got chops.
No doubt, no doubt. Look up Drew Struzan. You will recognize almost everything he's done, if not everything.
We'll put a link to his work on the episode page for sure.
Yeah. As you said, he definitely has the chops. And all right, so let's talk about the poster.
Okay. The poster is pretty simple in terms of a layout, but I feel that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
So the art really carries the day. I mean, it's amazing. It's essentially a silhouette of a human figure in black against a jewel-like glacial backdrop. It's sort of this prismatic, cut diamond sort of background effect with different shades of blues and purples and a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green. And the posture of the figure is a sort of rigid rigor mortis type of shock. It's like it's getting zapped and it's sort of floating off the ground a little bit. But that's not the spooky part, Todd. The spooky part is that the figure has no face.
What?
So where the face should be is a white-hot blast of energy that's radiating out in all directions.
I think I saw a music video like that in the 80s.
You probably were... I don't want to know what you were doing when you saw that.
Okay, yeah.
You're
sorry.
probably just at home
Move
staring at
on.
the TV. Or maybe you were watching Poltergeist. I don't know.
Yeah, it was on bright.
What's the TV was on? You had a bright, you had a knob. Just like, what's on this channel?
I turned up the bright.
Okay.
Oh, I got the bright channel.
So the poster was actually inspired by Rene Magritte's 1937 painting, The Pleasure Principle, and some of that surreal nature carried over. And we'll put an image of that painting on the episode page as well. Okay, so Struzan said, I couldn't show an actor or a location or anything, and I couldn't show a monster, so I had to find a way of making nothing into something.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's sort of like in true B-movie style, right? How do we turn nothing into something?
How do we make nothing look scary?
Okay, so get this. You want to talk scary? Here's something scary, a deadline. So the poster artwork was created overnight.
What?
I'm not making this up. Since Struzan received that assignment less than a day before the finished poster was needed.
Whoa.
After getting a call from Universal Pictures.
Whoa.
So he turned it around so fast that it was still wet when it was handed over to the studio courier after he waited an hour for Struzan to finish it up. Plus the 100-mile drive from Struzan's studio back to Los Angeles, where the studio was located.
Wow.
I read that the studio actually called him pissed off that it was still wet because they couldn't shoot the art for the poster. Like, they were on a deadline too, but they had to wait a day for it to dry before they could put it under glass to shoot it so it wouldn't mess the artwork up.
Wow.
So this artwork is sort of framed in this poster that has a black border around it with the phrase at the top, "The ultimate in alien terror," in reversed out Helvetica. And then The Thing, you know, the movie title, in bold all caps between the feet of this figure that's, you know, clad in these winter clothes. But the inspired part is that the thin credits along the bottom are colored in this sort of icy Carolina blue on the black background, picking up a color from the illustration. So the whole thing just says cold, right? I mean, it's set in the Antarctic. This figure is in a fur-clad hood, has gloves on, bulky clothing, and no face. The face. So it's like, if it's not chilling enough, we're going to blast out this person's face. And Todd, while not quite at the level of Creature from the Black Lagoon in terms of value, An original poster will set you back about $1,500 today.
So, I think that's okay. I think Paul, our friend in the UK that runs the poster shop, could get both of those
Paul,
over
hook
to
us
us.
up, man.
Give us a jingle, Paul. All right, so you intrigued me for a second there when you were talking about it was still wet and, obviously short time to turn it around. But
yeah,
what do you know about the technique that he used
yeah,
for
this was before digital, folks. This guy wasn't working on an iPad. To create his artwork, Struzan started by sketching on gessoed illustration board. And then what he would do is he'd fill in the areas of color with airbrushed acrylic paint, so knocking in some of the basic tones. And then he would add highlights and other details with colored pencil and more airbrush if needed. So he was working in different modes here, different mediums. But the gessoed foundation was sort of kind of like his version of, I don't know, Photoshop or Procreate or whatever, because it allowed him to be able to make any requested changes to the work without having to screw anything up or start over. So, it did allow for a little bit of flexibility. But here's something super interesting. Because he was so detail-oriented, he basically worked at a 1-to-1 scale. So his one-sheet work for a movie poster would be about 27 inches by 40 inches because that was the size that the final art would be printed at for a poster.
I had seen there was a documentary on him, and I'd seen that, and I found that to be really interesting, because you got to be really good.
Oh
right?
my gosh,
if you're working 1-to-1 scale. Like, the reason things are made larger and reduced down when they're printed is it makes them look tighter and just more elegant. But man, this guy totally had it going on.
Yeah, I mean, easily. And, he worked with reference photographs and he worked with live models. And if anyone remembers our Uncle Sam episode, Struzan sometimes included depictions of himself and family members and friends in his work, because they were what was available, right? And for this specific poster, he took photos of himself in winter gear, and that's what he used as reference for this poster.
Oh, wow.
And, most of his deadlines were not less than 24 hours. He was known for working very quickly, but his typical turnaround time was between 1 and 2 weeks to finish a painting.
Yeah.
And sadly...
Which is still really fast.
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely. When you're still working with traditional media and it's these high-pressure assignments. I mean, I almost think probably, and this is someone we should talk about at some point, I almost feel like he was like Norman Rockwell. Like, when you have a deadline that forces your hand into making some decisions and you have to wrap up the art and get it out the door, right?
Yeah.
He's got to eat, like you said.
So he was doing work for the entertainment industry when it was really peaking.
Oh, yeah.
Like you had mentioned, like the 70s and 80s, and they were spending a lot of time and money on illustration, and he was really at the forefront of all of that with just his style and his work ethic, and he just made a lot of art over the years.
Yeah, I mean, just these visual cornerstones of pop culture, like these movie posters we talked about.
I think he retired. I did hear he retired,
yes.
But is he still doing anything?
So I read that sadly his wife revealed that in March of 2025, she mentioned he's been battling Alzheimer's apparently for the last few years.
Oh, wow.
And so as a result of that, he's lost the ability to paint. He's not able to come to, fan expos and sign any of his artwork anymore. So, so that's really too bad. I mean, but his legacy is so incredible. So, Mr. Struzan, should this episode make its way to you, we are both big fans. I mean, you have touched a lot of lives of a lot of movie viewers.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, laid the foundation for a style of media art with what he did. We have a lot of people owe him gratitude for the work that he's done and showing other people how to really present a story like he does. So, yeah, man, what a couple of great movies and a couple of amazing artists.
Yeah, I think this calls for a couple of amazing drinks.
I'm feeling scared again.
Todd, look, you need to face your fears. You should seek some professional help.
Like a therapist?
No, I was thinking a financial planner.
All right. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Woo!